Welcome, Kachunga, my friends. It's Trev the Rev, and I ain't no vicar. I haven't done the joke yet. You laugh when I do the joke. How you doing? How are we doing on this? I normally say this lovely Saturday, but it's not Saturday today. It's Sunday today. I was unavailable to do my show yesterday, so I bring it today. And yes, we are talking about Rendlesham Forest. Before we get there, that's not Sherwood Forest, but Rendlesham Forest, not the New Forest. No, Rendlesham Forest. We will get there in a minute. But first things first. First things first. I always start with this. If you like this show, please give it a thumbs up. If you want to see some more of my shows and you haven't done so already, please hit my subscribe button. No, I haven't done the joke yet. Oh, mad. And you want to know when these videos are coming out, please ring that bell. Ring the bell. Ring the bell. Ding along. Ding. But as you know, I like to start my show with a joke. No, not yet. Not yet. Wait for it. Wait for the joke before you start laughing. I don't know. No, it was Halloween last night. You can scream last night. But anyway. Anyway, right. So, redhead went to a doctor. And she went, Doctor, can you feel me burning? No. Went, Doctor, she says, every time I touch a part of my body, it hurts. There's something wrong with my body. I was like, you what? He says, yeah, every time I touch a part of my body with my finger, it hurts. And she showed me. So she put her finger on her arm. She put her finger in her arm and poked it and went, it hurt really hurt. It really hurt. And the doctor said, you what? She did. Look, I'll show you again. And he touched her belly button with a finger. And she screamed out because it really hurt. It really hurt. And she said, look, I'll show you again. I'll touch my leg with my finger. And it really hurt. It really hurt. And the doctor said, you're not a natural redhead, are you? And she's like, no, funny enough, no, I'm not. I'm a blonde. She said, I thought so, she said. I thought so, he said. Your finger's broken. So now you can laugh. There you go. She had a broken finger. Finger broken. Yeah, I know. And I'm going there. I'm going there. Now, before I go on to the Rendlesham Forest.
I hate you all so much!
I don't. Honestly, I don't. Oh.
Welcome! Launch!
Yeah, I know. See, there you go. So, yeah, I was in town yesterday and I was a bit disgusted by the behaviour of the people who are in town. I know we're approaching another lockdown. Yes, we're approaching another one. And that's upstairs doggies you can hear in the distance, the far distance. Always picks the moments, doesn't it? Everyone makes noise, you see, when we're trying to do a
I apologise for nothing!
I'm not apologising for the noise, honestly. Anyway, I was in town yesterday, and as you know, with current rules, places had to be shut by 10 o'clock. Now, we left our place about 10:02, went to the bus, and the bus turned up at 10 plus. But the behaviour of the people in town, we obviously had a wee bit too much drink last night. And that's Halloween, and there were some really good costumes out there. But I just find the behaviour was atrocious, absolutely atrocious. People wonder why this lockdown's coming in place, and it just showed you last night why. There are no, fighting on the streets. This is an Exeter city centre. There's fighting going on. And it's badness. We've got homeless people sleeping on rough, and they've got an absolute nightmare time at the moment sleeping rough. But they were being kicked and punched by these people that were drunk. It's absolutely disgusting. And what makes it worse is you look at them and you think, and I do quote, this is our future. It's not our future because my future is I control myself. It's humanity's future we're looking at here. And you wonder why we haven't been contacted by other races and stuff, because you see that, and would you really want to be in contact with them? I know I wouldn't. It's it was just not a nice thing to see or things to watch. It's got to be, you know. Well, on that note, I'm going to stop my moaning about.
No!
Yes, I'm going to stop. I'm going to stop. I want to stop. Okay, okay. I'm going to go on to the subject. I'm going to go on to the subject now of what we're going to be discussing, which is, as I said at the start, it's Rendlesham Forest. Not Nottingham Forest. That's a football club. Not Sherwood Forest. That's up north. Wait a minute. Wait. No, there's no one there. There's no one there. So yes, we are talking about Rendlesham Forest. It's otherwise known as Britain's Roswell. No, this is not funny. This is not funny at all. Let's just go into this, and let's go into this and see what you think. See what you think. The Rendlesham Forest incident, also known as Britain's Roswell. Oh, it always dries up. Oh, more. The Rendlesham Forest incident, also known as Britain's Roswell, is undoubtedly one of the best documented and most magnificent military encounters with a craft of unknown origin or UFO. It is also a case that involves very credible witnesses, trained USF, United States Air Force observers, and security police. In late September 1980, there was a series of reported sightings of an unexplained light near Rendlesham Forest, Suffolk, England. Now, to those that don't know where Suffolk is, I believe it is down to the right, bottom right of England. I could be wrong, but I think that's where it is. I think that's where it is. Ooh, let me know if I'm wrong. Let me know. Ooh, Mrs. Matron. They became linked with claims of UFO landings. The event occurred just outside RAF Woolbridge, which was used at the time by the United States Air Force. UASF personnel, including Deputy Base Commander Lieutenant Colonel Charles I. Holt, claimed to see things they described as UFO sightings. The occurrence is the most famous of claimed UFO events to have happened in the United ranking among the best known reported UFO accounts worldwide. It has been compared to Roswell UFO incidents in the United States and is sometimes referred as Britain's Roswell. And, you know, Britain's Roswell. The UK Ministry of Defence stated the event was no threat to national security, and it therefore never was investigated as a security matter. Skeptics have explained the sightings as a misinterpretation of a series. Oh, I just said misinterpretation without making a mistake. That's impressive, hey? As a series of nocturnal lights, a fireball XL5, no, I don't think so, Oxford Nest Lighthouse, and bright stars. So they're trying to say a lighthouse beam looks like a UFO. No, it's what box they're going to come up with next. Up next. On the 20th of September 1980, at 3 o'clock in the morning, it was reported by Halton's memo to the UK Ministry of Defence A security patrol near the east gate of RAF Woodbridge saw lights apparently descending into the nearby Rendlesham forest, not Sherwood Forest. These lights are being attributed by astronomers to a piece of natural debris seen burning up as a fireball, XL5 fireball over southern England. At that time, servicemen initially thought it was a downed aircraft. Entering the forest to investigate, they saw, according to Halt's memo, what they described as a glowing object. Metallic in appearance with coloured lights, as they attempt to approach the object, I sort of blended two words together there. As they attempted to approach the object, it appeared to move through the trees, and the animals on a nearby farm went into a frenzy. A frenzy, I'll tell you! A frenzy! One of the servicemen, Sergeant Winston, later claimed to have encountered a craft of unknown origin, while in the forest. That's what he did when he touched it. He touched it and it went. Yeah. So, there was no publicised mention of this at the time, and there was no corroboration from other witnesses. On the 26th of December, the Deputy Base Commander, Lieutenant Colonel Charles Halt, visited the site with several servicemen in the early hours of the 28th of December, hence the date 28th of December, reported the 29th of December by Halt. They took radiation readings in the triangle of depression and in the surrounding area using an AN/PDR/27, a standard US military radiation survey meter. Survey says, yeah. Yes, survey says. Although they recorded 0.07 millirad, there's a word here I can't pronounce. Here we go. Millirad per hour. I know, that's terrible, absolutely terrible. In other regions, they detected 0.03 and 0.04 millirad, that word I can't pronounce, per hour, around the background level. Furthermore, they detected a similar small burst over half a mile away from the landing site. Halt recorded the event on a micro cassette recorder. See the Halt. Well, we can't listen to the Halt tape, it's not there, but if listen, just listen to me. Listen to me. It was during this investigation that a flashing light was seen across the field to the east, almost in line with a farmhouse. Maybe it's a flying cow, yeah, with a torch. As the witnesses have seen on the first night, the Oxford Nest Lighthouse is visible further to the east, in the same line of sight. Later, according to Halt's memo, 3 starlight lights were seen in the sky. So that'll be 3 lighthouses are seen in the sky. Okay. I got the vision of a lighthouse flying through the sky. Woo, woo, woo. The brightest of these hovered for 2 to 3 hours and seemed to bring down a stream of light from time to time. Astronomers have explained these starlights as bright stars. Okay. Shortly after 4 o'clock, local police were called to the scene, but reported that the only lights they could see were those from the Oxford Nest Lighthouse, some miles away on the coast, because by then it had gone, obviously. You know, a lot of this makes sense to me, doesn't it? But you know, it just makes sense, and
You are a huge nerd.
well, it's true. I am a huge nerd. Right, it's true. After daybreak on the morning of the 26th of December, that's Boxing Day, servicemen returned to a small clearing near the eastern edge of the forest and found 3 small impressions on the ground in a triangular pattern, as well as burn marks and broken branches on a nearby tree. At 10:30, the local police were called out again, this time to see the impressions. Which they thought could have been made by an animal, a triangular impression be made by an animal. Really? George Barini, in a book, You Can't Tell the People, published a photograph of the supposed landing site taken on the morning after the first sighting. Location Rendlesham Forest is owned by the Forestry Commission and consists of 5.8 square miles, 15 kilometres, of coniferous plantations interspersed with broad lead belts, heathland and wetland areas. It is located in the county of Suffolk, about 8 miles east of the town of Ipswich. The incident occurred in the vicinity of two former military bases, RAF Waters, which is just to the north of the forest, and RAF Woodbridge, which extends into the forest from the west and is bounded by the forest on its northern and eastern edges. At the time, both were being used by the United States Air Force and were under the command of Wing Commander Colonel Jordan E. Williams. The base commander was Colonel Ed Conrad, and his deputy was Lieutenant Colonel Charles Holt. Holt. The main event of the incident, including the proposed landings, is in the forest, which starts at the east end of the basic runway of about 0.3 miles to the east of the east gate of the RAF Woodbridge. When security guards first noticed mysterious lights appearing to descend into the forest. The forest extends east for about 1 mile. Beyond this gate, ending at a farmer's field at Capel Green, where additional events allegedly took place. Oxford Ness Lighthouse, which skeptics identify as a flashing light seen off to the coast by the airmen, is along the same line of sight about 5 miles, further east of the forest's edge. At that time, it was one of the brightest lighthouses in the UK. Now, this is the Holt memo I'm going to read you now. This is the actual memo from Holt. Letter from Lieutenant Colonel Charles Holt to the UK Ministry of Defence. The first piece of property evidence is to be made available to the public was a memorandum written by the Deputy Base Commander, Lieutenant Colonel Charles I. Holt. The Ministry of Defence, known as the Holt Memo, which was made publicly available in the United States under the U.S. Freedom of Information Act. This memorandum was dated the 30th of January 1981, under the title Unexplained Lights. 2-week delay between the incident and the report might account for errors in the dates and times given. Yes, given. Ooh, misses, yes. Memo was not classified in any way. David Clark, a consultant of the National Archives, has it's like my special voice for doing this to you. Yeah. David Clark, the consultant of the National Archives, has investigated the background of his memo and in reaction to it at the MOD. His interviews with the personnel involved confirm the cursory nature of the investigation made by the MOD. Failed to make any evidence for any other report on the incident made by the USAF or UK apart from the Holt memo. Holt has since gone on record saying he believes that he witnessed an extraterrestrial event that was then covered up. So this is now the actual the tape. This is what's recorded made by Lieutenant Colonel Charles Holt during his investigation in 1984. A copy of which became the Holt tape was released to the UFO researchers by Colonel Sam Morgan, who had by then succeeded Ted Conrad and Holt's superior. This tape chronicles Holt's investigations into the forest in real time, including taking radiation readings, sighting of the flashing light between the trees, and the starlight object that hovered and twinkle, twinkle, little star. The tape has been transcribed by researcher Ian Ridcliffe, which includes a link to the audio download and also a step-by-step analysis of the entire content of the tape.
Winning.
Yeah, I'm getting there. In 1997, Scottish reporter James Easton obtained the original witness statements made by those involved in the first night sightings. Well, the witness, Ed Cabansag, said in his statement, "We figured the lights were coming from past the forest since nothing was visible when we passed through the woody forest. We could see a glowing near the beacon light. As we got closer, we found it to be a lit-up farmhouse. We got to a vantage point where we could determine what we were chasing was only being a beacon light off in the distance." Another participant, John Burroughs, also stated, "We could see a beacon going round and around and around, so we went towards it, like a moth to a flame. We followed it for about 2 miles before we could see it was coming from the lighthouse. It wasn't coming from the lighthouse." Burroughs reported a noise like a woman was screaming. She was screaming, "Ah!" Burroughs reported a noise like a woman was screaming, and also you could hear the farm animals making a lot of noises. They were sort of going. That's what they were going. Okay. Why is there an elephant on a farm? Oh, told you it's a weird story. Whoa! Burroughs reported a noise. I think I'd said that already. This noise could be made by muntjac deer in the forest, which are known for their loud, shrill bark when alarmed. In 2010, retired Colonel Charles Hall signed a notarized affidavit in which he again summarised what had happened. He stated he believed the event to be extraterrestrial and had been covered up by both the UK and the US. Contradictions between this affidavit and the fact that it was recorded at the time in Halt's memo and tape reading have been pointed out. In 2010, Police Commander Colonel Conrad provided a statement about the incident to Clark. Conrad stated that we saw nothing that resembled Lieutenant Colonel Halt's description, either in the sky or on the ground. See, that's stupid. That's just stupid. Suffolk police were called to the scene. This is the police log we're going through now. Were called to the scene of the night of the initial sighting, and again the following morning, but found nothing unusual. On the night of the initial incident, they reported that the only lights visible were from the Oxford Lighthouse. They attributed the instead their indentations into the ground to animals. I said the animals.
Winning.
Yeah, I'm getting there. Suffolk Costa Proof file on the case was released in 2005 under the UK's Freedom of Information Act and can be accessed on their website. So that's a brief. There's a lot more to it than that, a hell of a lot more than that, but I don't have the time. Because as you know, I do try and do my shows to be half an hour. But what do you think? Do you think something landed there? I personally do. I've actually met someone at a spiritual fair. And no, I'm not finished. I'm not finished. Anyway, yeah, and he said, I quote, he said, I can't tell you all the things he said. One of the places he mentioned that happened was indeed Rendlesham Forest. But even I haven't been told that, from what I've read, what I've seen, and what I've heard, I do believe Rendlesham Forest did happen. I have no doubts about that. There's contact all around. You have to be careful when contact is made. So that's my view. What do you think? Do you think something happened like that there? As I said, there's a lot more that I could have got into. I could have made this an hour-long special, but I like to keep my shows down to about 25 minutes, half an hour, so people don't get too drained. Listen to me babble on for no reason at all. So let me know what you think about that. Let me know what you think. No, we're not going to Star Wars yet. Let me know what you think about Rendlesham Forest. Do you have your views? Tell me. I'd love to hear your views. I'd love to read your views. I read every single comment you put in. I do read. I'd love to hear what you guys think. Honestly, I do. So on that note, it's time for me to say farewell. So I'll say, before I go, before I go, I have talked about this subject before when I was talking about various things about it, but next week, we will be talking about moon landing. Did it happen? Did it not happen? What happened when they were there? I've got more intensive knowledge on it now. So we'll go into the moon landing. I don't mean when you turn over, bend down, and pull your trousers down. No, that's not what I'm talking at all. So on that note, it is time for me to say, no, it's not. Because if you've enjoyed this show, you can tell it's live. You can tell this show is live because I keep getting to say my thing. If you've enjoyed my show, please hit that thumbs up button. If you haven't done so already and you'd like to know when my shows are coming out, please. There's a train coming my way, apparently. Please subscribe to my channel. Just click on the subscribe button. And we want to know when these are coming out. Just ring that bell. You ring that bell on my page, and you'll be told when the video is coming out. So now, I can say those words. Good luck, my friends. Until next time, this is Trev the Rev, and I ain't no bicker signing off. Bye bye.